JP.
Right, hello there, everyone. Welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to a Combined 11, a debate between a Scouser and a Geordie. Now, I know you only see the annoying Scouser at the moment. Don't worry, we're going to bring in the even more annoying Geordie in a second. But this is going to be great. There's no premise to the Combined 11, by the way, chat. This is really a free-for-all. And the ones where we can't agree, that's where the experts need to come in. That's you guys. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this guy is someone who I've wanted on the channel for a long, long time. And the work that he's been doing in recent months has been nothing but fantastic. And I'm actually really, really happy for the dude that, you know, through the successes of his team, it's brought more light on him. It's brought more light on the club. I think it's nothing but productive when a club like Newcastle is now on the way up, you know what I mean? And I won't be saying this when they're winning league titles, but for now, I can have the little thing for now. If they're helping out with the overall communities and whatnot, then we can say that's nothing but a good thing in a chat. Smash a like, subscribe, and without further ado, let me bring in the one, the only. It is man like Matty.
Yo!
My guy.
Oi, all right, mate. What's going on?
I'm a star. How are you?
All good, mate, aye? All good. Feeling good, mate. Having a good time at the minute. Newcastle are flying.
Good.
Yeah,
You're feeling good. You look...
You know,
You're
it was a
feeling
good start, wasn't it?
good.
5-1 against Villa. So
You're
looking forward to getting
good.
back at St. James's Park, mate, this Sunday.
Bro, how the frick have you guys just went ahead and just absolutely smashed it? Like, you guys, 18 months ago, you'd have been depressed right now, and then now we've reversed.
Yeah, mate. This Combined 11 would have been an absolute waste of time if it was anything less than in the last year. Do you know what I mean? Any other time before the takeover, I wouldn't have got anyone in. You know what I mean? It would have been a complete and utter waste of time. You know what I mean? Unless you're talking Shearer back in the day, there's nobody getting in that Liverpool side for years. Do you know what I mean? So thankfully now I might have a shout for a few. But I'm buzzing for the weekend, mate. Really looking forward to it.
You're against one of the most stubborn Liverpool fans. I'm going to do everything within my power to make sure you get as little amount of players as possible. Don't think I've got sympathy for you just because you're Newcastle, how good is it for New? I love Newcastle. I love you. I feel like we're similar. You know what I mean? We're both rough as fuck. We're from mad areas. We have a mad accent, but it's boss. The only thing, and I respect you from that sense. Otherwise, like, you're one more bastard and team that I need to worry about now, and I never like that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. I think we are similar in a way. Like, if I was to pick a second team, it would be Liverpool because I think it's my second favorite city in the UK, obviously behind Newcastle. Nice. And I think we're both working class cities. I like it, and I think our Shearer, your Gerrard, like we've had that leader in our team. Obviously, Gerrard won a lot more, but we've got that kind of local hero. We've got that feel. I think there's no fakeness with our clubs. You see a lot of London clubs where it's just, do you really support them? Do you mean it's hardcore?
No, do you want me to tell you what it is about London clubs? That they have got the only thing I usually can align it with is this inbred mentality. Hear me out. Reason being, they share players, broski. Like when do you see Everton and Liverpool switching play? It's a rare thing. You know what I mean? Like but like even their fans, they're like former Arsenal fans who are now Chelsea fans. I'm just not down with it. You don't see Newcastle fans becoming Sunderland fans, and you don't see Liverpool fans becoming Everton fans, and vice versa. Even as crap as Everton are, as crap as Sunderland are, at least they stick to their guns. You know what I mean? They're just fully shameless. So yeah, I feel like that's what puts the North above the London side. But anyway, bud, what we're going to do, we're going to break this down into a starting 11. We'll sort out a formation all in due course. A manager as well. We'll do the manager at the end. What formation are you happy with going with? We have a crazy formation, so I'm happy doing whatever.
Probably a 4-3-3 maybe, or a 3-4-3, something like that. Like,
happy days. Stick to the basics. Stick to what you know. Greg, goalkeeper. I feel like I've got a no-brainer one here because even though your team's quality and Nick Pope has been boss, Alisson's like, just come on. Do I don't know?
Like last weekend, mate. Last weekend he was a bit shaky.
You think so?
Oh, well, what was that goal he nearly gave away? And then the first goal as well.
Nearly, but
yeah. stumbling. Whereas Nick Pope was most clean sheets in the league last year. You know what I mean? But nah, to be fair, obviously overall, if I was going to pick, I'm not going to bullshit. He's one of the best keepers in the world, isn't he, Allison? So yeah, you can have him.
Oh, my guy. So chat, that's 1-0 Hammers. But that was only because he was nicer there. You know what I mean? If you were going to go any deeper, I was going to say that it's Nick Pope's fault that Loris Karius started for you guys in a final. So that was going to be my battle.
It's bloody it's Alisson's fault actually because it was a long ball from the goal kick. One had caught everyone out. Salah was in, and then Nick Pope lost his head. So we'll have less of that this weekend, please.
Oh yeah, it was against us where he got the red card as well. Really? That must have been really annoying, by the way. By the way, is Karius still at your club?
He is. To be fair, mate, you know, it is in that cup final. He wasn't that bad. He hadn't played.
He never done no direct mistakes. He never done no direct mistakes. He's fine.
Apparently, there's the people at the club like him. They say he's really good in training and that. So I think he's our third choice keeper. So it's a third choice. He's alright.
That's fine. I just remember him being dead diabolically shit. Here's the score with Karius. So we obviously had the final, innit? But then the biggest problem, Matty, was when he had a pre-season game when we were playing against Tranmere in pre-season, and the person who scored against them, so he this fella for Tranmere, he had a long shot, and Karius just fucked it. I'll get it up on YouTube, but I remember at the end. But the guy who said after the game on Twitter, "I am a Liverpool fan," and he's shit. Like the player who scored against him literally called him like he's fucking wank, like as if he's the Liverpool goalkeeper. And then that's when Karius went out on loan for seasons, and he only ended up leaving us like 2 years ago, to be fair.
He was just doing up holidays in Turkey, wasn't he? For a while.
That's right. He's a big dude now, though, so I'm happy for him. And also, I thought that the hate was a little bit over. It was a bit too much, you know what I mean? Because fans just really got on his back. Never even gave him a chance. Okay, then. So Alisson in goal, back four. This is where I think I'm probably going to struggle a bit more. Do you want to start off at right back?
Well, Trippier, mate, hasn't it? You know what I mean? I mean, Trippier, captain, completely transforming everything. I think on and off the pitch, what he brings to the side, his set pieces. I mean, he's one of the best around still, isn't he? He actually is getting better with age. Like, he's saying it himself. He says, I think last year was my best ever season. Better than Spurs, better than win the league with Atletico Madrid. Like, he's unbelievable when you watch him. Just things that he does that probably goes unnoticed. But if you see him for the full game, he's quality. And he's still overlapping. He's still getting runs. He's 33 next month, and he's still class, mate.
There was a point in time where I was saying, and when I say point in time, I mean very recently, where I was saying he's like pretty much the best right back in the league on form. And he just like, and also a very underrated right back overall, correct? Because think about it, like the guy left Tottenham and he improved. He went to Atletico, won the league with Atletico, done well with Atletico. If you remember, Simeone was very desperate to keep him. When you think of it from that, and Simeone's a ruthless motherfucker. Like, and Atletico Madrid have got money, so they could have definitely replaced Trippier like that if Simeone wants them gone, but he obviously rated him, and then he came to you guys, and this is what's been mad about Newcastle, you know, Matty, because you guys ain't even spent money like that, and Trippier is good. I'm not trying to say Trippier is like some no name, but to think he was going to elevate you from here to here by himself, came in, scored a free kick, and I feel the atmosphere in which he's solely injected is huge, broski. You agree?
Yeah, everything came down to him, really. He was the first signing after the takeover. He took all the risks. He left Champions. I think Atletico were in a quarter final of the Champions League at the time. And he left that to come join a relegation battle. Do you know what I mean? He was, and he took a pay cut. People are saying, "Oh, you went to Newcastle for the money." He actually took a pay cut to come to Newcastle.
That's mad. That's mad.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that. Yeah, paid him less. So he was just so keen to move back to England. I think it was a family thing. His wife and kids wanted to come back to England and that, and obviously he's from Manchester, so he wanted to be up north. So it worked out well for everyone. He's completely transformed the club, and it's just little things like behind the scenes. He's huge in terms of in the dressing room, and he's just like a figurehead for everyone. And all these players we're bringing in, like Lewis Hall yesterday, the youngin from Chelsea. They said, you see him in the behind the scenes video, and Trippier's always first at the door, first in the training ground, shaking his hand, welcoming them in. He's just like bedding everyone in. It's unbelievable, mate.
Yes, and even when people make points like this, like Trent completed club football by the time he's 24, guys, we're not talking about like careers or anything like this. We can factor careers if we really want to, but then, you're going down a very slippery slope there because you can throw out some shouts for players who might be finished now, for instance. And for me, chat, I think it would be huge. Like, listen, believe me, I want to put out my neck on the line for Trent. I just think it's very, very tough when I think there's an argument that although he's been a great benefit, chat, In recent time, we're not talking about club football. Believe me, that's amazing. And I'm sure Trippier would have absolutely dreamed to have a career like Trent at 24. But that's not the debate. The debate is who's been better recently in the past 12 to 18 months. And let's also think about the impact they've had on the team, chat. Let's analyse that. That's important because Trent has probably been a detriment at times, although he's also been a great benefit. Trippier's been nothing but a benefit. The guy literally got top 4 for the guys last season, and Newcastle have only improved since Trippier came in. I'll give you Trippier. I don't really think that needed. I just wanted to give him praise because I do think he's a player who's overachieved, you know what I mean, Matty? So I think those players deserve the flowers. Okay, then, right, left back. So I've got Robertson. That's my forefront. I like Shimmercast, but he's just not the guy. So
I'm gonna give you Robertson because for me, obviously, we've had big Dan Burn come in there and he's done an unbelievable job last season. We did have the best defence last season, statistically in the Premier League, and Dan Burn was a part of that, playing out of position. Really, obviously, he is normally a centre back. But now we've brought in Lewis Hall from Chelsea. He'll come in. He'll be starting probably not this weekend, but obviously going forward. So Dan Burn, I mean, he's done a great job. But Robertson's one of the best, isn't he? He's the all-round package really at left back, isn't he?
I feel you. Nah, I'll go with Robertson as well. Chat, you can't be fuming at me for the Trippier thing. Nah, yous are all being biased as shit, because honestly, chat, like I think you need to watch Trippier recently, like he's actually been sick. And by the way, me saying Trippier is being amazing is not me saying Trent has been shit. The same way if I say Modric is better than Kroos, I'm not saying that Kroos is shit. I'm just saying one's better. So chat, come on, let's just. That weren't even charity. I was actually being sincere there. People are trying to claim it was charity. Now, Robertson, I'm going to be laying into Matty when it gets into the midfield. Watch me put an argument up for Sobbo. Anyway, right, centre-backs. You've got some... Who are you going with? Who's your candidate?
Sven Botman. Sven Botman all day long. He's been absolutely unbelievable. Oh, mate, Sven Botman. He's been absolutely sensational. 30 million as well. 30 million.
We were linked with him. Chat, think about it. We could have got Botman. This is the business that Newcastle have been doing. Okay.
Mate, steal 30 million these days. So Botman all day long. Obviously, Fabian Shaw's had the season of his life, but I can't.
That's right.
I can't argue against what you want, Van Dijk.
Now, I've got a problem, Matty. So you bring me Botman. I raise you Van Dijk. I raise you Konate. Oh, we're not willing to discuss. No.
Well, let's hear the Konate debate then. Let's say the Konate argument.
Right. So Konate has been our best centre back in the past 12 months, and like last season, if it weren't for Konate, we'd have been fucked a lot more than what we was. And the chat will attest to this, hopefully in a non-biased manner. But I don't feel like I should use them as reference right now because I do think there probably is a little bit of bias there. But in my opinion, I think Konate was significantly an improved centre back. We think about how important he was to the team, which I took into account for Trippier. He massively improves our team. And I do genuinely believe he's one of the, not to say Botman isn't, but I do believe Konate is certainly one of the higher ranked centre-backs in Europe as a prospect. So I just don't feel comfortable putting Botman in above. I rate Botman. I don't feel comfortable putting him in this 11. But
if we're going on form, though, and if we're going on, because you're saying there Van Dijk's had a poor season, Botman had a brilliant season and was in the best defence in the league statistically. It's hard to argue that one, mate. You know what I mean?
So really, the thing that we've came to here is Van Dijk potentially out the team. Because I'm not going to lie, I don't like to stand on the leg that Van Dijk's been good in the past 12 months because I massively oppose it. I do think he's been really good in the first 2 games this season. But I think last season, I think me and the chat can both agree that we've been massively disappointed with him. So how about this compromise, Konate and Botman?
Yeah, we'll do that, mate. Let's do that. I'll see that.
What the fuck's happened to Van Dijk, man? But he'll be back this season, though, so just know Botman can enjoy temporarily. By the time we have the next game at Anfield, we're fucking Anyway, midfield. I'm sure this is where you feel most confident now.
Apart from one of your players.
Okay. Yeah, you put your names first. How would you line up the midfield based on Newcastle players solely?
I would go, the full three? Full three in the middle?
4-3-3, yes.
I would have Bruno, Tonali, and Szoboszlai. Because Szoboszlai, mate, I said all day long, you know what I mean? I said all day long. We were linked with him. Like you're saying, we were linked with Botman. We were linked with Szoboszlai for about a year. even the start of the summer, I was like, oh, we're going to get Szoboszlai or Maddison. Which one we're choosing? Or we're going to go for Szoboszlai instead because he's younger and whatnot. And then we ended up going for Tonali. And then, yeah, we couldn't afford Szoboszlai. And anyway, Liverpool came in, so he jumped at that, didn't he? So, yeah, mate, I'm going to put everything on Szoboszlai to score this weekend just because we chased him for so long. I know for a fact he's going to bang against us this weekend, and he's going to be a sensational talent. I'm telling you now, he's unreal.
Yeah, I agree. Use chat. I don't think McAllister has a leg to stand on over Guimaraes. I always say his name wrong. You know, Matty. You wouldn't think he's one of the top players in the Premier League, would you? Chat. I'm not willing to put McAllister over him. You know, here's my premise. So we've had 2 games of McAllister, and he's been great in those 2 games. But then at the same time, he was at Brighton last season. Very good for Brighton. But come on, for what Guimaraes was for Newcastle, we're going to say McAllister was that for Brighton. Maybe in a way. Was he as good? Nowhere near. Like I just don't think he was as influential. Chat. I'm happy to do Tonali, and I'm happy to do the Bruno and Sobo. I'm glad you never put much resistance there for Sobo as well. Because did you know? And chat, get on this WRL. Did you know, Matty, that Szoboszlai would be a Manchester City player right now if we never bought him?
Really? Did they want him as well? Did they?
Well, think about it, lad. Like when you think about they've just lost De Bruyne, and you think about the type of players that they're trying to identify right now.
Yeah, he was still at Germany. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. I think he would have been perfect direct replacement for De Bruyne in the temporary time. So yeah, I think that he's quality, and I'm like you. I think he's going to be an amazing talent. And that midfield 3 right there is one that really that is probably one of my more preferred midfield 3 in the whole entire league. I think you put them 3 together, you might just have the best midfield in the Prem. Would you agree?
I would say so, mate. Because you've got balance there, which is huge. You know what I mean?
Right.
We've got balance there across the 3. Everyone's got the jobs. Everyone's got different qualities. Together, it would be immense. Absolutely immense. I mean, mate, it was talking about, look at fucking Caicedo going for 100-odd million.
Wild.
50 million. 50 million. Do you know what I mean? That's even that.
That was the one for me, you know, Matty. I just thought, I know Newcastle and whatnot, but that's not even a lot of money. That's just a great spot. And for you guys to pursue that. And what was your opinion on the whole thing around Tonali? Because there was that sort of massive thing about how he weren't happy when he joined and whatever have you, just because he weren't smiling and whatnot. How did you respond to that?
It's an absolute load of bollocks, mate. It was just completely I think Sport Bible or one of those wrote it, and then everyone ran with it, and it was just absolute nonsense. Like,
yeah,
we actually agreed the deal with Tonali first before AC Milan. So people were trying to say, oh, Tonali's been forced to go because AC's accepted the money. Wasn't the case at all. Like, Tonali agreed, and then we reached an agreement with AC Milan. So it was just all nonsense. Tonali obviously was gutted because
I never knew that.
He's growing up a Milanista. You know, he's been a AC Milan fan. He had a season ticket there. But he knew that it was kind of time for a fresh start. You know, AC are hitting the ceiling. They had that semi-final of the Champions League. They won the league the other year. He knows that it's time for a fresh start. So he was more than happy to come, mate. He's been doing loads of mad videos in Newcastle with like David Ginola, like eating Greggs and that. Like he's been doing loads of mad shit, man. Like he loves it here. He went to Wetherspoons.
Yeah, he went to Wetherspoons.
Spoonali.
I saw your video of that. He went to Chaka on this Tonali. He went to Wetherspoons the other day. Bruno was asked about it, weren't he? And he was just like, "Fuck knows why he went to Wetherspoons." Like, don't blame us.
So, mate, he loves it, and like he put it out there after he scored against Villa on his debut, and he was like, "I really don't want to be here." Like sarcastic, like post afterwards with a picture of him smiling, scoring. He was like, "I don't want to be here." So he was just like, mate, he's bang at it. So. It was all. It's funny. It's one of those things, isn't it? You know, where one person says it online and it just gains traction, and before you know it, fan pages with millions of followers post it, and then everyone thinks it's true. Yes. Like, load of bollocks, mate.
Yeah, do you know what? That's great context. I'm not gonna lie. I thought he was upset to join, but then when you say that he agreed the deal before before the clubs agreed the deal, that's a massive piece of context that was just suppressed below all of the bullshit, weren't it? Yeah. So fair play. Now you know, because if I was to talk about that, I'd be like, "Oh, listen, he didn't want to join." Like that's what I would have believed.
Aye.
But But poor analysis. So so far we've established the team of Alisson in goal, Trippier at right back, left back we went with Robertson, centre backs we agreed on Kanate and Botman because it's based on form, and Van Dijk last season weren't great. And then in the midfield we went Tonali and Sobo and Bruno. So that's fine so far. Happy days. Okay, then the front three. That's where I think we probably. I don't know about striker, but otherwise, I think we absolutely annihilate us in the front three. So we just say Salah. We don't waste time on Salah now.
Yeah, there's no point in having a discussion of that as he still gets in there no matter what. He always
I'm going to throw in Diaz for left wing. Scored a goal in both of the first two games. Was injured a lot of last season, but I think he's quality overall. So I'm definitely going to die on the hill for him.
Yeah, I think Diaz on the left because, I mean, we've got Harvey Barnes looked really good since signings for us, by the way. He scored on his debut, but he's still preferring Gordon on the left. Obviously, I know he's never going to accept Anthony Gordon up there, being an ex-Blue and all that, but I kind of put him ahead of Diaz anyways, to be honest with you. He had a really good Euros in England, but he still hasn't showed enough in the Newcastle shirt, although I do think he will have a good season this year. But I think the only shout I've got really, mate, for that front three is Alexander Isak down the middle, because he is an absolute beast, mate. He is absolutely class, you know. Like, honestly, like, people are doing all these Thierry Henry comparisons and that, and
nice quality
because his assist against Everton last year when he took on about 5 players and just tapped it in. He's unbelievable. Yeah, Zane's got it there. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the right one. Because Isak could play for anyone in the world, mate. I'm telling you, he's that good. Like, we signed him for 60 mil. He's been banging in the goals. He's got everything. He's got pace, agility, the eye for goal, the finish, the runs, the intelligence, and he's still only like 23 or something. Like, he's a baller, mate. He's a serious player. So I think he could really, honestly, challenge the Golden Boot this year if Haaland wasn't there, because he's City. So I think he'll probably be third this year in the Golden Boot race. Isak, I think it will be Haaland, Salah, and then Isak, especially without Harry Kane now.
Isaac's quality, bro. I always you won't know my opinions on Darwin Núñez likely, but I am not a big fan. I haven't really been a big fan since he joined. I just don't think he's that good, is all. It's not an agenda. I hope he does well, and he has potential to be a superstar, but I just don't think he's that good a footy.
Unlike Alex and I. Big Alex is still backing him all day long, isn't he? Mate, he loves him. I can't get a word in. He loves him on DR. He loves him, mate.
We've had too many debates, me and AGT, on Darwin Núñez, and I just said to him before he joined, I was like, just analyse the actual way he plays, don't just look at numbers. And I do think Liverpool, the database team, I think we just looked at it from a complete numbers point of view, because it was insane numbers, you know what I mean, in that league. But then I said, well, if you can't match it in this league, then it's pretty much pointless, like, even looking at it that way. You have to do the eye test as well. And people try and blame it on the system, but then he gets the chances, Matty, and he misses them. So I'm thinking, like, what's the problem here? You know what I'm saying?
As he misses is just unforgivable, isn't it? He did actually do a good finish against us at St James's last year, but
right.
I think all round he's got the potential there. He's got qualities, but for me, he is just lacking that cutting edge in the Premier League, especially for one of the biggest clubs in Liverpool and the price tag and everything. It's just not going to work out well for him. I think if he was at like maybe a Villa or a Spurs would probably be perfect for him. Do you know what I mean? To replace Kane or something like that. But at Liverpool, especially when he's surrounded by Salah and that, and he's going to make most people look shit.
I'm not going to lie, even Wilson I'd have considered above Wilson would go above Núñez for me, but I mean, I'd consider him as well because he's quality. Obviously, his Isaac I prefer, so I'd obviously go with him. My ones would be Jota, but in recent time, hasn't done enough for me. He's done fine. He had a fine pre-season, scored a couple of goals at the end of last season. It's truly magnificent. Gakpo is the one that I'd probably die on the hill on, but then again, I don't think he's surpassed. I don't think he's had the influence on our team the way Isak has, but he still has a great influence, so I don't want the chat thinking I'm all thingy on there. But it's mad the way you've got 2 shouts to put over our strikers. Now, here's the interesting thing about Núñez, just because this is a bit of context for you. He came in as numero uno. We built a system. We moved Salah all the way out onto the touchline pretty much to make sure Núñez was provided chances, in which he was. He just didn't really take them that well. And then by January, when we brought in Gakpo, Klopp kind of sat there and was like, okay, I think I've made a mistake here. Played Gakpo for the rest of the season. And that was when we went on our little 7-8 game win streak and we were catching up to you and Man United.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the things where I thought, well, there's the evidence that because my worry weren't the goals from Núñez. My worry was he going to take away from the overall team? Because if you try and adhere too much to one player, one outlet, it really can take away. So, for instance, when Man United get Ronaldo, before Ronaldo, they finish second. They get Ronaldo, they finish sixth. And then when he leaves, they're back to third and they win a trophy. Like, think about it. There's improvement there because they haven't relied on one guy. Ronaldo weren't the problem. He's done his job. He got 21, 22 goals. Nunes could have done that, even though he only got 15 last year. But he never done that. And he also never made us better than the team. And I think Klopp realised this. So we found ourselves in a predicament, Matty, where the guy who's supposed to come in as our main striker is now our third choice. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, this is interesting. Because, do you know, as a Divock Origi replacement, I think Divock's better in some senses. But, like, I think he's fine as that. He scored some big goals, scored against Man United last season, Real Madrid, even though we got fucked. Scored big goals. However, that's mostly been just like an impact moments. He doesn't necessarily have the all-round thing in the game. So I give him credit for that. And if he's our third choice striker, it's not what I would have spent 85 million on. But fine. Like, I suppose now we've got an 85 million pound striker on the bench and he's going to do a job off it. So, yeah, that's a bit of context behind Nunes. It's a weird one. So, okay, then Salah, we both agreed on Diaz. And then Isaac.
Yeah, sounds good to me, mate. That's a deadly front three, like.
So how many Newcastle players did you get in there? Bruno, Tonali, Botman, Isaac, Trippier.
Trippier, yeah.
So was that 5?
Yeah, 5, aye. Trippier.
Yes, so I still won. Fuck you, Matty, mate.
Fuck you. Well, mate, I'll tell you what. You should win, to be fair, lad. You know what I mean? You've been up the top for years. We've only been good for a year, man. How are? You know what I mean? How our team's coming, mate. Now, we'll do this again next season. See where we're at.
Next season I'll just be like Sobo. That was great. That was top content. Fun fact, I went to primary school with Anthony Gordon. I was in the same class as him.
No way.
Honestly, yeah, in year 5 and year 6 we were in the same class. I thought you'd find that interesting.
So was he our lad? Did you play football with him?
Yeah. We played for the school team, and to be fair, I thought he was fun. Like, we never spoke much, but I thought he was funny. And what was hilarious is he went in an academy then. And I also never is the interesting thing. I never rated him like that at school. Like, he weren't considered the best in our year or anything like that.
Wow. It's funny that because, like, you see that though, like the people who are best in my year, they don't really go anywhere and they have the odd person who just comes out of nowhere type of thing. But he must have been picked up quite late then, mustn't he? If he was wasn't in the academy.
So I knew him up until 11. So I knew him around 10, 11. So because that was primary, and then he joined Everton at about 13, I believe. And then from 13 onwards, he was playing for them for a bit. But yeah, he weren't like even all that. Like, I never affiliated him to being a Premier League player. And then a few years later, I was like, you heard about him, like, oh yeah, he plays for Everton. And then he just kept going and got international call-ups at a youth level. And you're just thinking, whoa, like when you get an international call-ups at that age, you're thinking, shit, like, okay, these guys are a little bit serious, you know what I mean? So he's actually ends up really overachieving. And then to see him go for 50 mil, I was like, whoa. I was like, whoa there. Liverpool fans hate him as well. So that'll be interesting if he comes on the pitch. But yeah, man. I thought that was productive, Matty. I really appreciate you coming on. And also to the chat, if you can go subscribe to Matty's channel, it is in the title. Matty, I've got this correct, haven't I? The Magpie Channel TV.
That's the one, bro. That's the one.
Quality. That would have been a big shame if I was getting people to subscribe to some random Magpie channel where they just look at birds. But yeah, man.
Bird watch.
Anything you want to say before we dusty?
Cheers for having us on, mate. Pleasure. Let us know. Are you coming up on Sunday? You coming to the game or not? Nah?
I won't be coming to the game, but shame, I have to make the effort to come to Newcastle because that would be a friggin' laugh. I reckon I get along with people in Newcastle. I don't think I get in like, you're a tit. I've been to Newcastle recently for a night out, and that was boss. Like, everyone was just like coming over like, yes, lad. They started all their accents, and I was just like, yeah. So I'd love to come there, and I'll let you know when I do. But yeah, guys, go subscribe to Matty. Smash a like and comment on this video as well. And that was the combined 11. So just to remind you real quick, and then I'll end the video. Alisson in goal, Robertson left back, Trippier right back. We went with Botman. Bear in mind, this was on form. We went with Botman and Konate as the centre backs. Midfield, Tonali, Bruno, Sobo, and then front three, Salah, Diaz, and Isaac. So that was the combined 11. I actually didn't think I was going to do that good. But yeah, man, thank you for watching, everyone. And we will see you all in a bizzle. Sayonara.